I'm trying to do is keep it healthy. So I don't want to fill things with empty calories. So what I try to do is keep the chocolate a high chocolate count, not like a Hershey's chocolate, because that's just full of sugar. So what I use, and what my kids are used to, is 100% cocoa. And with that, this kind of tastes like dirt by itself. So what I do is I kind of let the bananas be the sweetener, but I also use these monk drops, which are monk fruit extract. So this is a sweetener made from monk fruit. So you can get it on Amazon, very cheap. And you, this right here was probably $6, and it's 350 servings. And it's great for diabetics. It's not going to spike your blood sugar. It's not like a Equal or a Splenda or a Sweet and Low where it's a chemical. This is a naturally derived sweetener. So if you need to in the beginning start off with a little more of this, that's okay, because it's not a chemical. So I started off with a little more of those natural sweeteners, either stevia or monk fruit in the beginning, and then I kind of reined back as my kids got used to having these more natural flavors. So what I'm gonna do first is I'm gonna make some of the, what everybody calls the banana ice cream. So I have my bananas in the freezer because they thaw very quickly. So you want to keep them in there in between whatever you're going to make. So first I'm going to start off with that. So let me grab those. And like I said, I just have these big bags, and as I fill these, I make stuff. So I'm going to make just a medium batch of ice cream. And then I have these guys that I got from IKEA. This is what they look like. And they have a little top on them. You can just sit them right, you put the top on them, put them right in the freezer. So the kids think they're getting a popsicle from the store, but you're actually just making them. So they come in a set of 4. I think they were $2. I've had these for years. You just throw them in the dishwasher or just in the sink, and they come super clean. You can make these with juice. You can make them with all kinds of things. So we're gonna make them in here. So that's the second thing I'm gonna make though. So first I'm gonna do the ice cream. This is kind of more for the adults. So the first one we'll do for the adults. The second one we'll do for the kids. And then the third one is a little bit different, and we'll do that for both. So let's start off with some frozen bananas. And I'm just going to throw them in. Let's see how many I have. We need 2 for the last thing. And then we need maybe 3. So we'll start off. We'll do 5 for the ice cream. And then in between, you want to throw them back in the freezer. And then you're going to put your lid on. And this is going to be noisy. I apologize. I'm going to take the lid off. And what I'm going to do is throw in about 2 tablespoons of melted coconut oil. And then also about this is just to start getting them moving. Once they're moving, you don't have to add anything else. About 1/4 cup of almond milk. And blenders vary. Like I said, this one's a monster, so it's probably going to get moving quicker than a regular blender. And then this one also comes with a plunger that always gets stuck in my drawer. That's what it looks like. So I'm gonna not turn it on high because it's very, very loud. And then I'm just gonna start pushing them down until they start getting incorporated. is you'll hear the motor. I started off on low, and then I turned it up a little bit. Like I said, you don't want this to be soup, even though we are gonna put it back in the freezer. And this is like shaking the house. You do want it to have the consistency of ice cream. So we're just gonna move it around a little bit more. You can see that it's moving at the bottom. So that means it's warming at the bottom. Almost there. And done. So now, we're gonna take our bowl, and I use metal because it makes it nice and cold in the freezer. Take my spatula, and you could literally stop here. Like, look at this. This is like ice cream. Do you see this? It's literally like ice cream. So what I do is I put it in the metal bowl. So that's that. And then, if you're not going to stop there, which you don't have to, I can sprinkle in some of my dark chocolate. I can also sprinkle in some of my cacao nibs, which are awesome. If you haven't had cacao nibs, they add like this awesome crunch, and they're really good for you. They're a superfood. So they are, what are they high in? They're high in fiber, antioxidants, and they have a ton of magnesium. So you can add them to protein shakes, smoothies, oatmeal, cereal, ice cream. They do have a tiny bit of caffeine in them, so you want to be careful if you're going to give this to kids. But a serving size is a tablespoon. So if you're going to have it, I would put probably 2 or 3 tablespoons in there. But if it's for the kids, I would keep it 1 tablespoon max for the whole batch. So we're going to put a little bit of that in there. And then we're going to put some of the monk fruit drops. And then a little peanut butter swirl. So I'm not going to put a ton. I'm going to take my knife and literally take some peanut butter on my knife, and then like this much. And then I'm going to just swirl it through, because it's not going to really freeze. It's just going to be a nice little swirl throughout the ice cream. And because this is going to be adult ice cream, I'm also going to add some protein powder. 1 scoop. Use whatever kind you like. I use a whole scoop just to add some protein to it. So this ends up being kind of like your Halo Top ice cream, where you have a higher protein ratio, and it kind of cuts the carbs so that if you're craving those carbs, it is going to be so much better for you. I use the Beachbody kind. This is the Recover. So this is for usually for after workouts. I do my workouts usually later at night, so this is great for after. Because I'm usually starving too, so I can have ice cream. And then I'm going to swirl this around. And then we're going to get it so it's nice and pretty. I have to do one little last sprinkle. Oh, I was gonna say potato chips. One last sprinkle of chocolate chips. And then I'm gonna take, where's my plastic wrap? My plastic wrap. And just take a little, because we just want to put it like on top. We don't need to get it to seal. We just want to put it on top of the ice cream, so it doesn't pick up anything funky from the freezer. So here we go. So this is recipe number 1. This is our banana protein peanut butter chocolate chip swirl healthy ice cream. Here it is. Yum yum. And this is probably like 4 servings, and they're hefty servings. It's like a coffee cup full. And it's not even bad. So that's number 1. Okay, number 2 for the kiddos. So you're having your awesome ice cream. They're gonna have their pops. So we're gonna throw in we need to have 2 really good looking bananas at the end. Oh, we might not have that. My cats, it's like a full moon for cats today. They've been doing nothing but fighting this morning. All right, we're gonna have that's good enough for after. Okay, so we're gonna have those for the pops. We want our last ones to be a little bit aesthetically pleasing because they're gonna be really fancy. So these are for the pops. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna make these a little soupier. We're gonna make them a little looser so that they can be poured into the molds. And these are also gonna be high in protein without the protein powder. We're gonna use some Greek yogurt and some almond milk. Now, if you can't do almond milk, do soy. You can't do soy, do whole or oat, whatever works for you. Whatever yogurt works for you. I'm doing some almond milk. I'm just eyeballing it, usually around 1/4 to 1/2 cup. Yogurt. I'm going to go with a serving to start. It's like 3/4 cup. I've been doing this forever, so it's kind of like in the back of my mind how much things look like. Turn it down. We don't want a disaster here. Again, we're gonna mash these down until they start moving on their own. These ones should move a little quicker. Turn up the speed. Start off low again. Nothing worse than splattering the entire house. I will definitely post the recipe. I'll post the recipe for all of these. I know mine are just about ready, I can look inside and I can see that everything is spinning and going tunneling down. So I'm gonna add another 2 tablespoons of coconut oil. It just gives it a really good texture and it helps with the solidifying. That's how you know that everything has gone through and there's no lumps. I'm going to add just a little more almond milk. And again, this is why I add everything in stages. Otherwise, you'll ruin everything. Everything will just become a big old mess. But that's one thing I learned from my mom cooking, is that you want to start off with the least amount and work your way up. And we're good. All right. So, we're going to take this out. And then we are going to add in the rest of our chocolate chips. And I just do this by hand, otherwise they get broken up so small that you can't even see them. And then your kids are like, there's no chocolate in here. And you want them to get at least a piece of chocolate. These are my new bamboo cutting boards I got, set of 3. Set of 3? Set of 4? Set of 3. Less than $20 on Amazon. Awesome. We're gonna mix them in. And then we're gonna add to these, we're gonna add a little bit of coconut. And this is unsweetened. About 1/4 cup. Audrey's having a meltdown. This is the time of day, usually, 11:15. That's when she has her daily meltdown. And then we're gonna add our monk fruit. Stir it up. And then it has right here a little notch, so you know how far to fill it so that they don't overflow. And we're going to pour them in. We're going to get right up to that spot. What's the matter, Audrey? Are you feeling moody? If you want an orange, they're right there in the basket behind you. So there's one. And we got one more. Now with the rest of this, I'm just going to pour it out again into a metal bowl. And then they can have that as ice cream. You can put it in cones. You'll be able to scoop it once it's frozen. That's the nice part about it. Even though it's a little looser than the other one, it should freeze up fine. If not, it's just going to be a little icier, which isn't too bad. It's kind of like frozen, like a really hard frozen yogurt. So let me get this. For this. Lisa, I tell Audrey to say hi, but she's in a mood, so we're not going to try that today. Okay, so we got that wrapped. We have our ice pops. I'm just going to sit them right here on top. And then our last one is going to be hopefully we can get one full one. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our banana and we're going to skewer it. And I don't know if this is going to work because they've been in and out. Oh! We can try. We could try. Maybe this guy will work better. He's not a whole banana, but he's better than this one that's falling apart. You're going to take a skewer, go through the middle, these do work better if you do this when they're not frozen. Okay. So we have it. And then we're gonna dip it in that 100% melted chocolate. I just lost my spoon. Drizzle it on there. Drizzle it on there. Drizzle it all over that. And this is just that chocolate with some coconut oil in it, and that's going to help it just solidify again. So it's not as hard as a rock. And then we are going to get a plate. We're going to put it on a plate. We're going to dust it with some coconut. Look at that beauty. See that? And then we're going to pop these back in the freezer. And you can do it with coconut. You can dip it in the peanut butter. You can, my camera is not cooperating. You can put it in the you can smear peanut butter all over it and then put the chocolate on it. You can do another one that's smaller, like this one. We'll see how this one does. They do melt very quickly, but let's see if we can get this one done. So we'll chocolate it. Chocolate, chocolate, chocolate. And then I'm gonna put it right there. And then I'm gonna take a fork, grab some peanut butter, and I'm going to attempt to put some peanut butter on it. Some peanut butter. Beautiful. And then some those cacao nibs, so they're crunchy. And look at that one. Beautiful. So there you go. We have two variations of that. We have the Pops, we have the kids ice cream, and we have the adult ice cream. So I hope you enjoy. So I will see you guys on Thursday. I will be doing a reading, which then will be replayed on Saturday. Not sure yet which book I'm going to read. There's a couple of books in the running. And I hope you enjoyed this. I will post the recipe. And if you have any questions about any of the products I used, anything that is on here, shoot me an email or message me on Facebook. I had a great time. Hope you did too. And I will see you soon. Bye.